3 favourite social platforms that you're using?
Twitter is always my favourite.
That's my baby too.
That's where I started.
Yeah, me.
That's where I get the most engagement. I've got friends. I've met people on Twitter. Some of my best friends I've met on Twitter.
So what's your Twitter handle for everyone?
Jetlabomb. JETLBOMB.
And you've been hanging around for some time now. And been telling my friends how you're the class clown. And just now realize that I ain't coming around.
So, I am Jess Shanahan. I run the Racing Mentor, but I'm also a journalist with a PR background, and basically I'm known for road trips and motorsport and all that kind of fun stuff that people get very jealous of, and most of my family don't think I have a real job.
Yeah, my mum asks what I do every week. I phone her up every week and she says, so how's business? Well, yeah, it's really good. So what is it you do?
Yeah.
And there was even my sister, who is a bit more savvy, is only a few years older than me. She says, so what is it you do now? No, you're not a policeman. Like, well, and I explain, it's just like, oh right, okay. Still don't get it.
Yeah, went to a family party, my boyfriend's family, at the weekend. I had a really nice convertible Fiat 124 Spider.
Very nice.
Rocked up in this really swish car, and they're like, where did you get this? I'm like, well, it's part of my job, I'm reviewing it. They're like, are you getting paid to do this? I'm like, yes, it's part of my job, I'm reviewing it. Can't grasp it. Can't grasp that I just get to drive a nice car for a living.
Part of the job.
But sometimes I can't believe I get to drive nice cars for a living. So, yeah, I can kind of see where they're coming from.
So how did you get that gig then?
So it all started with, I used to live tweet Formula One races. Yeah. Which is kind of how I got into motorsport. Set up a blog, and then started emailing manufacturers saying, can I have a car? Okay. And they went, sure. And I just suddenly had like a driveway full of cars. There was often overlaps, and it's a good job that, you know, the first house I bought had a big driveway. It's completely just through asking for things. Okay. Yeah. But now I've kind of got to that stage where people know who I am. Yeah. That sounds so weird. People know who I am, and I get invited to amazing things, which I'm very grateful for. And people come to me saying, do you want a convertible Fiat Spider for a week? And I say, yes, I would love that. That'd be great, thank you. So I didn't have to ask for this one. Fiat came to me, which is really great. I also worked with Abarth, which is kind of Fiat's performance arm. They invited me to Italy for a yacht launch, which was so good. So I literally spent one day, flew out in the morning, flew home in the evening for the joint launch of a new Abarth 695 Rivale and a yacht of the same name by a brand called Riva. Okay. So basically got to go on a yacht, drink Prosecco, have a slightly James Bond
it's
kind
a hard
of
life,
thing.
isn't it?
And now Abarth have invited me to the MotoGP. Brilliant. And to drive the performance version of the 124 Spider. Okay. I developed this relationship that I had with Fiat and Abarth and like the big group, which is like the Chrysler group, in Italy, and now they just keep kind of handing me cars, which is a great position to be in.
Do you actually own a car?
Yes.
That's the thing. Like, if you get cars every week or every fortnight, go on.
I actually have an Abarth 500, so which is like a Fiat 500, but it's got a little 1.4 turbo engine, and it's just like a really, really stiff suspension little race car almost. Okay, cool. And I bought it because I am a girl racer. Yeah. But I'm also a bit of a Fiat girl. My two of my first 3 cars were Fiats. Okay. And then my 4th car is an Abarth.
What were they?
First car was a Fiat Punto. Okay. Yeah. Second car was a really, really kind of souped up Daewoo Lanos.
Okay. Did they do souped up?
I souped it up. I was like, I'm gonna I put a household sub in the boot. Connected it to a really ridiculous speaker system, which basically involved me cutting out the metal that was beneath the parcel shelf, because it wasn't really the kind of car that you could do that to. So I literally just hacked into the car and put these speakers in. Household sub. You couldn't turn the sound system on unless the engine was on, because it drained the battery straight away. So that was my first foray into doing anything with cars. And then my 3rd car was a new shape Fiat Punto, and then next car, Abarth.
Okay, I'm going to throw something out there because I've got a client who's a Nissan dealer.
Okay.
What do you think of the new Nissan Micra?
I haven't driven it.
Have you seen it?
I have. It's interesting.
It looks like Fiesta.
Yeah.
But because we're doing
that's better than the old Nissan Micra, which I think looks.
Because we're doing a comparison now from literally 10 years ago, whatever it was, and going through them, and even the previous one was like a bubble.
Yeah.
And this new one is a completely different concept on it.
I think it's more in keeping with what consumers are looking for.
Yeah, and it is actually quite a tidy car.
Yeah.
I mean, I drove it when we first got it, and we took it up through Norfolk coast, and it was lovely. We put the GoPro on the outside, and sort of my history with cars is I used to be a police advanced driver.
Awesome.
So I took it out and had some fun with it. Kept within the speed limits and all of that.
Obviously.
But it handled really well. I mean, I drive a Juke because that's what they've given me, and I love it.
Yeah,
it just doesn't hold across a set of golf clubs. Qashqai's fine. We did a promo video with Chroma Golf Club, and the golf club said, "Look, it even fits in golf." I said, "Yeah, it does perfectly. Why doesn't my car hold golf clubs?"
Yeah.
So I started playing golf again, or trying to. And I was like gutted, so maybe I have to upgrade.
For me, it's will it fit a snowboard in it?
I'd love to be able to snowboard. I love snow. I love the idea of it. I used to be a skateboarder when I was a kid.
Cool. Me too.
But I've never tried it. How long have you been doing it?
Officially since about 2009.
Yeah.
But really seriously, probably it's been since 2012. So that's when the majority of my stuff has happened. So I was an F1 pundit on TalkSport. I'm now BBC Radio Norfolk's motoring expert. I write for all sorts of, publications on cars, sport, tech, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of been more within the last 5 or so years.
So you said you started out on Twitter as your sort of an early platform.
Yeah.
What are you using at the moment?
So I use Twitter and Facebook groups. I think are the ones that I use the most. I also use my own personal Facebook because I've got a lot of contacts there. I used to work as a race team boss. I used to run a Porsche in the Porsche Championship with 2 amazing drivers. So I built a lot of contacts doing that, both with sponsors, drivers, engineers, all sorts of people within motorsport and people who want to work in motorsport. So it was kind of it was a good, even though I didn't know I was going to do this, it was a kind of a good exercise in building that community there. So, but it's definitely Facebook groups that get the most engagement for me. But Twitter seems to be growing more rapidly. Okay. But I don't think that audience is quite as engaged.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
I just think because what I do is so niche, especially in terms of coaching racing drivers into picking up sponsorship and media training, branding, that kind of thing. They don't have very much time, so I think a more kind of one-on-one environment that like the likes of a Facebook group is much better for them. I think they feel like every time they post, they're asking me a direct question, which is great, and I always reply. I'm kind of happy to give that advice. Twitter has proved more useful for the careers audience. Okay. So lots of journalists, bloggers who are moving towards a career in motorsport. A lot of people who want to work in PR within motorsport as well. And now that I'm using it more often and I'm spending more time on diversifying my content away from just sponsorship, there's been a lot more engagement there as well.
We don't use, or me personally, I don't use Facebook groups a great deal. Yeah. I find that if I go into a Facebook group and post something or try to talk to people, and I'm looking really at a local demographic more than a national, so there might be a difference. Yeah. They just... The reason I don't get a lot from them, or as Big Daddy, or even our clients don't get a lot from them, because people post... They just think that Facebook groups is an advertising wall. Yeah. It's like the local advertising wall.
I agree with that, the local stuff.
We'll look at Norfolk groups, even down into the city. We might look into the entrepreneurial groups as well, just to try and spark some engagement. Yeah. There isn't any.
No, I agree. I've tried, and I've dabbled with the local groups because I figure
everyone's just trying to sell something.
Yeah, and it's always
literally
like,
they're trying to sell their old clothes.
Yeah,
and a wardrobe.
It's not necessarily relevant. What I've done is built my own communities. Yeah. So it's obviously very different what I do to what you do, so the relevance is different, but I have, my main group is called the Racing Mentor Sponsorship Community.
Okay.
And it's a group of, it's quite small, there's about 250 drivers in there.
Okay.
Some who are actively racing, some who want to race, so various different levels, and I've kind of set it up as, I guess, kind of like a very big coaching session.
Yeah.
So anyone can ask me anything, as I said, but also I go in there, I post, I give them opportunities for race seats that are available,
okay.
Any sponsorship opportunities that I hear of, that kind of thing, and they get a lot more attention than I would put out to people on, say, my Facebook page.
Yeah.
I'm giving away a lot for free
yeah.
to these racing drivers. But that's because I know that once they get to a stage where they've picked up their first sponsor and they have some spare cash, they might go, well, I still need £100,000 to go racing, or whatever they might need. And then they'll turn to me because they know that I can coach them in that direction to help them pick up.
They trust you.
Yeah, the other 99,000 that they need.
Yeah, you've done the legwork to build the trust for them to come back to you. They feel comfortable and confident. So just to recap, because people are going to be watching this and they're going to be like, okay, I get all of this, I need a summary. So you're engaging with people, you're giving them you're giving them the attention they need in a Facebook group, because that's where it works best for you and your community. You're giving your information out for free, but ultimately it's building trust, it's building influence, they're coming back to you and then they're buying from you. It's not rocket science, is it?
No, and I don't know.
And I don't mean to be rude when I say that, because this is what we do.
Yeah.
And people don't get it. I did the micro advert, okay, and we had it in different age categories. We had a 25-year-old girl, was our target, and then we had a 50-year-old woman.
Yeah.
What we did was we put the 25-year-old girl as the driver, and we put the 50-year-old lady as a driver. We switched the music up so it was different for the age.
Yeah.
But what we did was we mocked the Stig.
Yeah.
So, but we dressed them all in black.
Nice.
Ladies like to be in black.
Yeah.
It hides a multitude of sins.
Yeah.
So, but we had a black helmet.
Yeah.
So we the music sort of dictated who the person might be.
Yeah.
And when they came out of the car and they did the reveal with the helmet off, it went down a storm.
Amazing.
People then came back and said, "Did the girls really work here?" Yeah, they do. Yeah. This is Sally from finance, and she's 52, and when we ran her campaign over Mother's Day, it was like treat the boss this Mother's Day.
Yeah.
You know, and it went round really well. People still talking about it. We still run it. I'm slightly jealous.
I'm not long back from a road trip around Croatia, which was ridiculous. We hired a car from Sixt, and they gave us this gorgeous, huge Audi that we took on mountain roads, and it kind of scary at points.
And who funds this?
It was kind of a holiday.
Okay.
Sixt were kind enough to lend us the car.
Okay.
So that obviously saved us a chunk of money, but I paid for it. But afterwards I then go to magazines or wherever and say, hey, do you want a thing about road tripping around Croatia? And people have been like, yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah. And then I write about it and basically make back what I spent on the holiday. So
excellent.
I get a holiday where I don't really have to work.
Okay.
I just get to drive a nice car around some of the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen. And eat loads of great Croatian, Bosnian food, and then we ended up in Italy as well, so lots of Italian food too. And then when I come back, then there's a little bit of hustle to try and kind of sell the story in. But it's basically all of my holidays are paid for by my job, more or less.
Okay. What about if you did it the other way around and pitched to someone first?
I have done that before.
And how does that work?
So I once received a press release about Route 57, which is the UK and Ireland's kind of equivalent of Route 66. Yeah. I got this email, thought that's really cool. Emailed back, and it was basically an SEO exercise. They wanted me to post about it on my blog, link back to Jury's Inns, who had set the whole thing up. I emailed them and said, how about I drive all this, we film it, and then you've got loads of content for this thing. I ended up getting paid a 5-figure sum to go on a 3-week road trip in an electric car, which we got about 60 pieces of news coverage from it. Local television in pretty much every stop, local media in every stop, national media, so many links back to Jury's Inns as well, and I think it was the most successful campaign the agency had done for that client. So I've always been good at kind of making that connection, which is why I've been able to go off and do ridiculous things and get paid for it, basically.
It's brilliant, because Nissan did this with the Micra.
Yeah.
They had half a dozen bloggers picked a Micra up from somewhere and went off around Croatia. Yep. And what got me was the one that I saw what got the most out of it and gave the most back was simply because her accessories matched the colour of the car. Yes. She had an orange handbag. Yes. I was just like, it works. Yeah. And she was the most chatty and this, that and the other. But I didn't see, they didn't make as much out of it as they could have.
Yeah.
Because I went onto Nissan's Twitter, I pulled all the content back, ready to use it for Quaker and Nabs. I was linking back to blog posts and things like that. But what I did find was that the blog, we name tagged the bloggers in every post.
Yeah.
They didn't respond.
That's so weird.
Very. But what I personally think it's because actually their previous posts were paid. Yeah. And they just wouldn't retweet. Yeah. I don't know if they were under contract with Nissan. Yeah. But it's a Nissan brand by another Nissan supplier and retailer. I mean, Craig Nabs have just won the Global Award for sales and customer service. Yeah. But I find it a bit odd.
I think when working with any kind of influencer, and this is from the point of view of an influencer, so maybe I'm a bit biased.
No, go for it.
I think brands need to choose beyond follower numbers.
Yeah, 100%.
The best way to get sponsorship is to be an influencer or a brand ambassador and basically to allow someone into your audience. But you have to be good at engaging with that audience and also promoting the brand. Yeah. And that's where I think a lot of people fall down, especially racing drivers fall down, because they're not business minded, they're not media minded, they want to race. Yeah. Where are you journaling into now? So I'm still kind of on the come down from the Croatia road trip. Okay. But it's what I'm doing at the moment is very much focused on writing about motorsport careers. Yeah. Writing about motorsport in general. I'm still doing a lot of tech stuff, so I write a lot about the future of mobility. Okay. And autonomous vehicles, smart cities. Yeah. Diesel bans, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So if somebody was going to say saw this video and wanted to get into what you do, or into journalism or into motorsport, what advice would you give them? I think set goals. Yeah. So work out where you want to be, where you are now, and what's missing. What is that gap? How do you get from that place to that place? So for a lot of people with journalism, they think, okay, I want to be, a broadcast journalist covering whatever they want to cover, whatever your passion is. But at the moment, I don't really know how to do that. I've got a blog, but how do I get from blog to there? The best thing to do is start talking to people who are already at that point where you want to be. And I think a lot of people will be surprised at how many people are receptive to that. A term that was said to me a while back, and it really clicked with me. It was build your network before you need it. Yeah. And it's about finding who, because you never know who you're going to meet. Yeah. I didn't know we were going to sit here today and have a conversation. Actually, we could do something together. Yeah. We could put something together because you have the skill set. You're a journalist. You're probably far quicker at putting a product together like that than me. I've got a skill set elsewhere, and I'm better at doing something else. I can do that, but what it'll take you 8 hours, it'll take me 16. In comparison. So that's like, okay, I never knew I was going to have that conversation until I sat here today. That's why LinkedIn's so good. What's the next big thing for you then? MotoGP with Abarth. Excellent. When's that? Thing. That is bank holiday weekend. This week, August. Yeah. Brilliant. So very excited about that. Not sure whether I'm more excited about my first MotoGP or whether I'm more excited about driving the Abarth Spider, because that's like maybe the next car that I want to buy. Yeah. Definitely can't fit a snowboard in that though. Right, okay. So maybe a second car. I'll just have a driveway full of Abarth. Why not? Cool. Thank you ever so much. That was brilliant. That's like tons of content. Yep. I want to give you a massive thank you for watching this episode of The Big Show. If you've enjoyed it, then please like it. If you know someone who'll benefit from it, then please share it with them. I would love you to subscribe to our channel.